Hey there guys, welcome. Today we're at Robben Island after many failed attempts of coming here, and my walk after this whole session felt like a long walk to freedom, as Utata Mandela would say. So please join us for a Robben Island sightseeing and hope you enjoy it. And we're here with the little ones. So we're going to Robben Island today with the kids and my niece, and let's see how this day goes, as we haven't been keen on going here for a couple of years that we've been coming to Cape Town. So initially we booked our tickets online, and you'll see how smooth it is to go through. So enjoy this video. Guys, it's not like we didn't want to come here. I think it was that emotional feeling of whatever. And every time we said, okay, we're going, then it would be like nature is just on our side for some reason. It's either the weather is bad and it's been closed, or there's always something going on every time we tried to come here. But I think it was just like saving us. And then you're redirected on where you need to sit on those bench, and you can see the bit of the spacing in between, and obviously the food marking, trying to put the social distancing in hand. And so we're here now waiting for the queue to start moving, and that's us waiting for our boat to arrive, which is departing at 1 o'clock.
I'm a robot, help me, I'm it smells like fish.
Yeah, it smells like fish. Hello.
Hi.
Enzo. So we made it, even though inside there was no social distancing, but we made it. It's okay. And we finally arrived at Robben Island, and those buses there are the ones that will generally be taking us inside. So enjoy the ride. This is going to be very hard, or a lesson for most of us, as we decided to come here and obviously bring the kids. But I can tell you already, it's going to be So that's where we'll be going through. And during the drive, I'll be letting the tour guide speak there and there, because some of the things I just absorbed then and just like went synced for a couple of minutes. So from time to time, you'll hear the tour guide talking. Enjoy.
Thank you for traveling with Bus 5. It's been a good trip. I hope you enjoyed it.
Brought here leaders from the Khoi and the San tribes, men like Ochumatu, David Stearman. They are considered the first. From about 1657, they are sent as prisoners of war. Back then it's an open air prison. The one you will visit did not exist. It is on your right hand side. This is where we'll say goodbye. This prison was constructed between 1960 and 1963. Men like Zef Matupei, Jafta Masemola from the Pan-Africanist Congress, they can say they built this prison for themselves. It was prison labor used to put the prison together. Before the prison was built, the site was mainly graves like the ones on your right hand side now. From about 1841, these people were left here. They were patients, not prisoners, suffering from a pandemic known as leprosy. The Bible speaks of leprosy. Jesus Christ helped people with leprosy too. That is privately owned, and that's by the Anglican Church of South Africa. So if you had any ideas of investing your money here in property, unfortunately I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That one piece of land, it will come up very soon on your right. The Anglican Church of South Africa look after leprosy patients. They are the title deed holders because of their efforts. They utilize the land to build the Church of the Good Shepherd. This church is designed by the same gentleman who designed our union buildings in Tshwane, Pretoria, Sir Herbert Baker. And you will find that everybody was mixed together, but by 79 the building on our left was not constructed, I beg your pardon. It was converted into a convict prison. This is the last prison to eventually close. The criminals were finally removed from the island by the end of 1991. Welcome. Welcome home.
I hope I have not said anything wrong in food. Do a bit of homeschooling in that case. There are not much amenities left. We still have the clinic. The clinic here, we specialize in seasickness, so that's why I always inquire how was the trip before anything else. We have one of the nurses by the name of Womfrak, who is an ex-officer who recently retired. It's not only the ex-political prisoners, officers who befriended prisoners, who assisted, who collaborated, they were invited to work with the museum as well.
Emotionally drained face.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Church Street. There's a guest house, so if you miss the boat later on, ask anyone who is Church Street, and then we'll see what we can do for you.
The clinic and all the houses we are passing was built for Second World War purposes. Before 1960, this was a naval base, mainly for the war. At that time, the island was most populated with over 3,000 officers stationed here. During apartheid, there would have been between, say, 250 and 500 officers, maybe 1,200 residents in total if you can take into consideration their families too. For them, there was no need to leave this island. All amenities were here. The post office we just passed, they had a grocery store there. Building on our right hand side behind the hedge, this was the primary school during apartheid. There was no way boats were going to come and go daily. In that regard, authorities were very successful. Because of these measures, not a single successful escapee during the apartheid years. During the leprosy epidemic, this was like the initial clinic in the village. So there's another cemetery directly behind this building with over 300 graves. These are missionary workers buried here who looked after leprosy patients. You'll see in line with the lighthouse to your far right, those graves I just mentioned. From here you have a nice view of Bloberg, which is the town to your far left-hand side. That is the closest mainland to this island. I'm sure you all know how far you travel to be here today. A distance of 11.5 kilometers from Cape Town. That way is 7. And then the guest house, ladies and gentlemen, the one with the red roof. This was also a church before it became a guest house, a Dutch Reformed church, which eventually was destroyed to become the commissioner of the island's home. Prior to the lockdown in March, April, we still had guests that would stay over. Many of these houses were prepared to become guest houses too. As we speak, most of the structures are unoccupied. As we make our way along the coast, you will notice there's a lot of seaweed growing around the island. There were prisoners that were brought to the coast to harvest the seaweed. Mr. Sisulu Elias Motsoaledi, Katrada, Mandela. They worked here for more or less 2 years, the last of their 18 years on the island. But the Mandela even broke an ankle on the rocks, it becomes very slippery. He still preferred working here than in the lime quarry or fixing roads. At least here you had your feet in the water, you were overlooking those views.
So the first stop was at that shop where you could get your water and some chips, light snacks basically. Grab your chips, grab your water, grab your juice, grab your drink, and then go to the frame, grab some pictures, and then 10 to 15 minutes the bus will then again leave to the next point where we'll stop again. So this is what we got. We grabbed some pictures with the nice views at the back of the Table Mountain. Absolutely beautiful. Just a tip, the shop only allows cash, so no card payments.
There was a rubber duck next to the cafe along that piece of beach. Those were poachers that came over not too long ago for abalone, the shellfish. That's really the only crime we have that I can speak about. With regards to conservation, we're mainly a bird sanctuary. We've got African penguins, you might have noticed some. And then these birds here on your right hand side, the Egyptian sacred ibis. This is an ancient species of bird that dates back to the times of the pharaohs of Egypt. The building on your right hand side gives you access to underground tunnels connecting these searchlights, the building we just passed, to artillery guns situated around the island. If the island was under attack, you could send those coordinates via those tunnels. So we'll be passing one or two of these batteries, just to put a picture to it. There was also quite a bit of hunting done on this side by senior officers during apartheid. If you were senior enough, you could hunt as a form of recreation. So animals like springbok, steenbok, bontebok were brought for that purpose. Taken that was shot, yeah. But nothing went to waste, you know. Yeah, we were really fed well at that time. Gave up fishing for a while. Here's one of the batteries that I mentioned where the tunnels lead up to. Realized that the duckbokker, the fallow deer, they were now encroaching on the ecosystems of the endangered birds. So we had to reduce their numbers. There was almost 300, if I'm not mistaken, that was shot, yeah. But nothing went to waste, you know. Yeah, we were really fed well at that time. Gave up fishing for a while. Here's one of the batteries that the day someone tries to pull the trigger. So yeah, it doesn't matter where the gun is situated. It has an engine room, so it will be able to rotate the gun 360 degrees. We are very grateful that the conflict never reached us. So this gun was never...
We learned something. An 18-meter high lighthouse that was built in 1864 in South Africa, which is this one basically, which uses a flashing light instead of a revolving light that we normally know.
Islam to this part of Africa, and that is why they are honored with a shrine before you. There's 23 shrines like this one in the city of Cape Town. All of them were initially prisoners here. Most saw their release. A few were able to...
We now headed to the prison site, which is obviously going to take another 10 to 20 minutes, which is why I decided to split this video up into 2 parts, which the second part will be the prison side. So if you like this, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and look out for the upcoming second part of the video. Thank you.